wouldn't give him your number if you were healed. That's the test. Think about the last person you entertained, the last relationship you stayed in too long, the last person you made excuses for, cried over, prayed about, knowing the whole time that something was off. Let me tell you what they scared to say out loud. You didn't stay because you love him. You stayed because your nervous system recognized him. That is not the same thing. I'm going to show you exactly why women who are healed, whole, and clear would have never walked through that door in the first place, and what it means that you did. Now, because I'm hungry and my food is in the oven, I'm going to have to speed this up a bit. So I'm going to use my notes real heavy, okay? Before we get into that, I'm Renisha, and if nobody has checked on you today, that's exactly why I'm here. I am a trauma and deliverance coach. I am not a licensed therapist. This is why I can talk to you how I talk to you. My authority comes from surviving a toxic mother, abuse in the church, and deep rejection. But I actually did the work to get free. I bridge nervous system science with faith-based healing because you can't pray your way out of a dysregulated nervous system. I said what I said. If this is your first time here, buckle up, baby. I want you to subscribe. What I'm about to teach you is something that your therapist might say in a clinical way. Your pastor probably will never say it at all. And your best friend, well, she might not have the language for it yet. Again, I apologize in advance because I'm hungry and I got to hurry up. So let me start here. Most women watching this are not in a bad relationship because they have bad taste. You're in, or you've been in, a bad relationship because your nervous system never learned what connection feels like when it's safe. All right, I'll say that again. So your nervous system never learned what safety feels like in connection. So survival mode is what happens when your body has been through chaos, rejection, inconsistency, or danger that starts running this permanent background program. That program's only job is to keep you attached, keep you connected, and to minimize conflict. It also constantly scans for any sign that you are about to be abandoned or rejected. But here's the part that nobody connects, right? When you're in survival mode, your need to be accepted is louder than your need to be safe. If you have been following me for a while, you know that I have talked about how there are some people who get caught up in lust, right? And you all may think they're out here sleeping with all these people just because they're a thought, male or female, they're a thought. Right? No, they ain't no hoe. Some of these people, they have dealt with rejection, and the rejection is so deep and they're denying it. They're suppressing it. Oh, I'm not bothered by it. But guess what? Even if it's just for 5 minutes, that connection, the smashing, it makes you feel accepted. This is why some people get caught up in that lifestyle. It's simple. They want to be accepted. Okay. Now I'm over here saying stuff, not even in my notes. Where am I at? All right. So because your need to be accepted is louder than your need to be safe, you start to overlook things, red flags. You start to overlook them. So you start to rationalize, well, he's not that bad. Well, I know he's been through a lot. I just want to show him love. I got to be patient with him. Okay, sis. Baby, I need you to know that's not patience. That's a body who learned to prioritize someone else's needs over their own. That's a body that learned to prioritize another person's well-being over theirs. That's a body that learned to prioritize attachment over well-being. All right. So that's survival, and survival mode was never meant to be a relationship strategy. Trying to see in my mirror how many minutes I have left because I'm also almost out of storage on my phone. Just all the things. All right. So again, survival mode was never meant to be a relationship strategy. Survival mode was designed for emergencies. 911. Okay. So the problem is, if you grew up in a house where chaos was normal, where love was inconsistent, and where a parent was emotionally unavailable, critical, cold, or just gone altogether, your body never got the memo that the emergency is over. I'm hearing that song play right now. The struggle is over. Y'all know how songs just pop up in my head. So you walked out of that childhood, right, and straight into relationships that felt exactly like home. This isn't because you want it to be hurt. It's because your nervous system has confused familiar with safe. Now, I want to talk about something that's going to be a little uncomfortable, but stay with me. Self-abandonment. Somebody say self-abandonment. We throw that term around a lot in healing spaces, but I want to show you what it actually looks like in your everyday life, because most women, especially high achieving women, the women that watch my videos, you don't recognize it as abandonment. They call it, being flexible. I'm being gracious. I'm low maintenance. Girl, ain't nothing about you low maintenance, but okay. Or, well, I don't want to start the drama. I'm just trying to keep the peace. Self-abandonment looks like this. You notice a red flag on date 2. Some of you on date 1. Some of you just, while you're on the phone getting to know them, you don't even need a date. You already see the red flags. Okay. But you don't say anything. You tell yourself, I don't want to be paranoid. And they say I'm too picky. They've always said I'm too picky. So maybe I'm just tripping. So he says something that generally hurts you, and then you minimize it. You tell yourself, oh, I didn't mean it like that. I'm just telling y'all what self-abandonment looks like. Your gut is screaming, but you are over-explaining his behavior to your friends. You're tired of them bringing it up, so you're over-explaining it. Meanwhile, your friends are tired of watching you talk yourself back into the exact same situation. You have a need for consistency, for clarity, for accountability, but instead of expressing it, you shrink. You make yourself smaller so the relationship can survive. That's abandonment, not from him, from yourself. Here's why it happens. Self-abandonment is a strategy that your body learned as a child. If you grew up in an environment where expressing your needs got you punished through anger, coldness, you being ignored or being told that you were too much, your body learned to survive by making yourself disappear. Wish I had some props. I don't even have time. Okay. You're thinking if I don't need anything, then you can't leave me. If I don't speak up, then we won't fight. I'm gonna just stay quiet and agreeable. And some of y'all, the church taught y'all that too. If I just stay quiet and agreeable, I won't be rejected. Let me tell you, submission is not about being quiet, agreeable, not having a voice, and not tolerating abuse. That's not submission. Just FYI, okay? This stuff worked when you were 8 years old. It is now destroying you at 35. I can't hear nobody. The most painful part is that you have been doing this so long that you didn't even notice you disappeared. You just wake up one day exhausted, resentful, and wondering why you feel so unseen in a relationship where you have been making yourself invisible the entire time. But at least you're in a relationship, right? This is what social media has you all thinking. At least you're in one. Let me see how much time I have left. All right. So real quick, if any of this is landing for you, drop a pink heart. Y'all know my favorite emoji is a pink heart. I use it to respond to a lot of you all, a lot of your comments. Drop a pink heart down in the comment section. And at this point, this heart is not even for me. It's for you. I need you to know that you're not watching this by accident. Her video just happened to pop up on my timeline. No, it didn't. If you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you subscribe. I have a whole inner healing playlist, baby, over 100 videos where you can just go in there and have a ball, get what you need. All right, so I need you to bring it in, sis. I need you to come here and listen closer, because this part right here is going to finally help you make sense of what used to confuse and shame you. I'm hoping, if I do a good job explaining it, okay? So you might be thinking, well, why does this feel so magnetic if he's not good for me? Why does it feel like chemistry? That pull, that electricity. My gosh, it's just our connection is electric. That feeling of, I've never felt like this way before, or with someone who is inconsistent, emotionally unavailable, or just flat out unkind. He's not even kind. That's easy. What you're feeling isn't chemistry. What you are feeling is nervous system activation. He's mirroring the emotional patterns that you grew up with, the push-pull, the hot and cold, the approval that you have to earn. This is your nervous system lighting up, okay? It ain't love. It just recognizes the pattern. Your body is interpreting that recognition as connection. It's intermittent reinforcements, the same psychological mechanism that is used in gambling. You never know when you're going to get the good version of him, the attentive version, the loving version, the this is who I fell for version. So you stay because you're waiting for the next hit. Because when it's good, baby, it's so good when it's good. But when it's bad, yeah. But your nervous system can't let go of this hope that it's going to be good again. It's not love, okay? This is your nervous system in crisis. It's trying to resolve something that it never got to resolve in childhood. I may have to skip over some of my notes, but the love that you wanted from your mother or your father or the parent who just wasn't there, this is what you are chasing in these relationships. And guess what? You're going to keep chasing it in every emotionally unavailable person until you make the decision to deal with the wound. I know this is hard to hear, but it's one of the most freeing things that I could tell you. This is not about your worth. It's about your wiring, and wiring can change. Here's another thing we don't talk about enough in healing spaces. Healthy love can feel boring. It can feel flat. It can feel like something is missing, or like the right person for you, oh, he's just a friend. You put him in the friend zone. I need you to understand why. Because if you don't, you're going to mess around and walk away from the right one while staying for the wrong one. When someone is kind, consistent, safe, when they call, when they say they're going to call, when they are honest, when they don't make you feel like you are constantly auditioning for their attention, your nervous system doesn't know what to do with that. There's no chase. There's no spike of anxiety followed by relief. There's no wondering. And for a nervous system that's been wired on chaos, that stillness does not feel like peace. It feels like something is wrong. You might even think, okay, yeah, I'm not that attracted to him. I don't know. Like, Renisha, I just don't feel that spark, you know? Girl, the spark you're looking for is called anxiety. That was your body on high alert. That was cortisol and hypervigilance dressed up as chemistry. So you telling me you would prefer a little boy playing games over a grown man? One of the most important things you're going to learn on your healing journey is how to tolerate peace, how to sit in the stillness of safety without running from it, sabotaging it, without creating a problem just because you want to feel this adrenaline of resolution. Let me tell you something. A lot of people say they want peace. A lot of people claim they're at peace. But when real peace shows up, and I'm not even talking about a person right now, I'm talking about within your body, a lot of you don't even know how to handle it. This is the work, not just releasing a toxic relationship, but learning to receive the healthy one. So we're about to name the thing that's keeping you in the wrong relationships, okay? Because it's almost never what we say it is. So we say, I love him, but real love doesn't require you to shrink yourself. We say, I don't want to start over. But what we mean is, I'm terrified that if I leave, I will prove that I'm not lovable. We say, well, what if I'm making a mistake? You find a way to blame yourself. But what we mean is, what if I leave, heal, open up, and nobody chooses me? The real fear is not losing the person. The real fear is losing the possibility, the fantasy that this person with enough time, enough grace, and enough of you, don't get me started on these women that think they can change these men, will finally choose you the way you've always needed to be chosen. He's going to choose me one day if I do this, if I do that, if I just be patient, have more grace, give him this baby, give him another baby. That baby didn't work. Okay, let me give him 4 more. Honey, that fantasy is connected to a wound that is much older than this relationship. You are not just trying to make this man love you. You are trying to finally win the love that was withheld from you at the source, whether it was by a parent, by a church, or by the people who should have been safe and weren't. And I want to say something directly to that part of you. You cannot heal in the place that hurt you. You cannot find safety in a relationship that keeps you in survival mode. You deserve more than a relationship that functions because you made yourself small enough to fit in it. You were not made to survive. You were made to live. So I'm not going to just leave you with the heavy. Let's talk about what you can actually do really quick. First, I need you to start paying attention to your body, not just your feelings. Screw your feelings. Feelings are horrible leaders. Emotions are horrible leaders. Listen to your body. Before you text back, before you extend grace, before you decide to stay, pause and check in. Is my chest tight? Am I holding my breath? Am I anxious right now? Or am I at peace? Your body knows before your brain is willing to admit it. Second, I need you to write down your non-negotiables. Not the things you want, the things without which you cannot be at peace. Safety, honesty, consistency, emotional presence. Write them down. And then this is the hard part. Hold them. Not as a test, but as a standard. Third, I need you to notice where you are performing healing instead of relating. Are you showing up as yourself or as the version you think he can handle? If you are performing, that is a sign. The right relationship does not require for you to audition for your own spot in it. Fourth, and this is the big one, ask yourself honestly, does this relationship support my peace or does it require me to constantly manage my dysregulation? That's it. I can end the video right there. Let me say that again. Ask yourself honestly, does this relationship support my peace or does it require me to constantly manage my dysregulation? A relationship that requires you to stay in survival mode to maintain it is not a relationship. There are so many good clips in here that I'm going to have to make into reels, okay? Baby, this is a hostage situation with like some real fancy lighting. That's what we have going on here. And I know y'all over there laughing at me, but this is so not funny. Fifth, I need you to get support, okay? Not just prayer. Am I still recording? Not just prayer, not just journaling, not just podcasts. Love all the things, but I need you to get some actual support, okay? Because this work is very deep. It is extremely layered, and you deserve someone in your corner who understands both the nervous system piece and the spiritual piece. You get it? So if anything that I said today hits, especially if you're sitting here thinking, I've known this for a while, I didn't want to admit this, I don't know how to do the work, any of that, I want to tell you about Bloom. So Bloom is my coaching program, and this is where inner healing and deliverance meet. We actually do the work together. Your nervous system, your spiritual life, your relationships, and the wounds that you have been carrying since you were a child, before you even knew what a wound was, babe. Okay? I work with women who are done surviving. Y'all, my eyelashes. And I don't even wear fake lashes, y'all. What is going on? So women who are ready to build a life and a relationship from wholeness, not wounds, okay? Women who are tired of being the most healed person in a broken dynamic. If that is you, the link is in my bio. It's in the description. Go read up on my Bloom. Broom is crazy. Read up on my Bloom program. I have 2 different tiers. If you're not ready for that yet, make sure you subscribe to the channel. I do encourage you to grab my Clarity Reset. Okay, there's a whole community and all kind of bonuses that come with that. You can go read up on it, but just make sure you keep watching. I'm going to be here. Send this to a woman you know who needs this. But before I go, let me give you some homework. Okay, I want you to identify one place in your current or most relationship. Identify one place in your current or most recent relationship where you abandoned yourself. All right, just one. I want you to name it, write it down. This is where your healing starts. And I'm going to see you all in my next video. All right, take care of yourself. Pink hearts. Wait, how do I do it? Pink hearts. Don't forget to drop your pink hearts in the comments.